The biggest complaint I hear from chief data officers is how siloed the systems have been over time. So to me, it's very important to actually evaluate your current data lakes and warehouses to identify performance data bottlenecks and data silos. That evaluation would then lead for you to design how you're going to move to Fabric.
Welcome back to Fabric Threads, where we unravel Microsoft Fabric for you. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Dennis. But today is an extra special episode. Joining us today is Palak Sharma, Product Go-to-Market for Microsoft. We're going to tackle some fun topics together, including the upcoming FabCon community event, the importance of training and upskilling your Fabric practice, as well as Fabric Data Lake implementation and what makes it so special. So Palak, thank you for joining us today. Let's go ahead and jump in. Palak, for our viewers who are not familiar with the FabCon event, what can you tell us that attendees can expect?
So Fabric Conference is our flagship event for Fabric, and fortunately it's happening in Las Vegas this year. So looking forward to having everyone there. We're going to have more than 200 sessions. We're going to have workshops. We're going to have keynotes. And along with the opportunity, it's a community event for data and community experts. So you can meet with the community, understand the use cases, deep dive into what's working for the other organizations, and how you can utilize Fabric databases, real-time intelligence, and one lake catalog.
So I know Collectiv sponsored FabCon 2024 back in Las Vegas, and this year we are doing it again. How have y'all taken feedback from the community to help evolve FabCon 2025?
Community plays a crucial role for us, Dennis. We want to make sure that we're listening to the practice, including the champions and the self-service content creators, which helps drive successful adoption and effective use of Fabric. So as we move from 2024 conference to 2025, we're bringing up the themes, we're bringing up the new features in the product set that the customers can use. And then we're also looking at what our customers have been looking at in terms of what features they want in product to be released. So we're going to be talking about some of those features, as well as some of the new ones. It's a data community conference, so we want to make sure we're talking about databases. We're talking about AI. We want to make sure from an AI perspective, we're actually building the right platform for our customers, and we're giving them an introduction to making sure that they understand how they can use the Fabric analytics platform to enhance their AI and innovate more.
Absolutely. And you had mentioned that there's over 200 sessions. Are those more thought leadership? Are they product announcements? Are they technical sessions? Can you tell us a little bit more about what attendees can expect there?
Great question. It's a mix of everything. There's going to be an announcement. You can expect the keynote to be full of what we're going to be looking at when we look at a product roadmap perspective. There are going to be specific customer stories that you're going to be listening to, how Fabric has been implemented for them and how they've been using Fabric in their organizations. And there's also technical workshops. It's a full conference full of sessions, but as well as workshops for data analysts and for different data architects, where you're going to be getting hands-on training on topics like data engineering, real-time analytics, and AI integration. At the conference, you're also going to be seeing deep dive sessions, which cover the new releases, which is Fabric databases, real-time intelligence, and One Lake catalog. There are going to be also expert-led training sessions where you're going to be looking at practical insights and how you can use Fabric within your organization. All in all, Fabric Conference is for everyone. If you are a data practitioner, if you are a business decision maker, or if you're a technical decision maker, it's something for everyone.
And I think that's why it really separates FabCon from other conferences. So it's not just a developer conference. It's not just a thought leader conference. It really brings all of those sessions into one, and there truly is something there for everybody. You mentioned a couple kind of updated features. I know we were at Microsoft Ignite last November, and there were tons of new updates with Fabric, lots of new releases. Are you really excited for any type of new features that are being announced?
I am very excited about Fabric databases, to be honest. I think it brings everything together for us. It makes sure that you have the ability to bring your databases within Fabric. You can use them with your data sets. You can do more analytics on them. You can even do write back in Fabric now. Like with the native capabilities of write back, You're able to use Power BI to Microsoft Fabric databases. You can make sure that your users are able to edit and input data directly within Power BI, which enhances the integration between front end and back end. And to me, that's a really powerful feature that will help our customers make it easier for them.
I totally agree with you. We have a lot of clients looking forward to that feature, especially after it was announced at Microsoft Ignite. That's going to be a really big feature, I feel, for a lot of business end users where maybe they're still using Excel or they're using some sort of homegrown tool. And now you're really bringing in the data entry with the data analytics all into one platform. And that's going to be extremely powerful.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Fabric, right? It's easier for every level to use. If you're not even technically that enhanced, you're able to use it like a business user because it's like a software as a service platform where a lot more people can actually use it, gain insights out of it, and use it for their business. I love the One Lake integration. It brings so much data together that you don't have to go to different data sources and figure out what to do with them. I love the cataloging. It's so much easier to explore. It's so much easier to discover your data and then understand what to do with it. So all in all, I think Fabric, as Satya has put it already, is one of the biggest product launches that we've ever had. And we have a lot more. We're looking forward to it from a roadmap perspective. We can do a lot more with it.
Absolutely. And I know Collectiv has been there in the weeds of Fabric, seeing all the new features, trying to implement those for our clients. So we've definitely been through that in the past few months. With all of these great new features within Microsoft Fabric, both pre-FabCon and post-FabCon, how important is it for all of these users to get trained up on Microsoft Fabric?
I think it's one of the top challenges when we're looking at organizations adopting Fabric is transitioning from legacy systems, but also managing change. They need to train their whole teams on how they can use Fabric, and it can be time consuming if you don't have a partner or if you don't have any help. I don't look at Fabric Conference as a point in time event. It needs to be a part of the customer journey. It needs to be what do you do before when you go to the conference and what do you do after. I would highly recommend making sure you understand Fabric, making sure you're going to going to an event with your heads full of, hey, this is what I want to get out of it. You want to understand real-time intelligence if that's the feature that works best for your organization. This is who you want to connect with when you're at the conference to make sure that you have all these technical workshops and technical training under you when you get out of the conference. So one, make sure you understand why you're going to the conference and what you're going to get out of it. But then from a training perspective, post-conference, we have a lot of Fabric in a Day workshops. And that hands-on training is very critical because it provides practical experience with Fabric's tools and features. This type of training helps you understand how to apply Fabric capabilities in the real-world scenario, making it very easier to integrate within their workflows.
If you're attending FabCon in Las Vegas, make sure you connect with Collectiv. We're sponsoring and we're sharing insights on how you can make Fabric the perfect fit for your organization. Don't miss our session on why Right Back in Fabric is going to change planning forever. And please stop by and see the whole team at our booth 421, where you can find out about our custom solutions and support for your Fabric needs. So Palak, with that emphasis on training really being important to enabling your Fabric practice, can you tell us specifically what is Fabric Analyst in a Day training and how can folks make use or find one of these trainings to attend?
To me, if you are looking for moving to Fabric, this is one of the most important trainings that your organization and that the people that are actually going to work on the platform need. So Fabric in a Day workshop typically starts with a keynote where we go about Fabric, we go about the demos, what exactly does it offer to our customers. And then post that, we do labs. We give hand-on modules for you guys to try. It empowers organizations to, one, transform data into actionable insights and understand how Fabric features like core capabilities, including data centralization, workflow automation, and report creation. All of this within the data set that we provide, and then you can work on it. I would highly recommend Collectiv's FIAD workshops. I've seen them very important in a customer's journey on adoption to Fabric, and Collectiv has done a great job in implementing some of these workshops with our customers. We can have one to few customers, we can have one to many, but it just depends on your organizational needs. So I would love to know your thoughts, Dennis and Jill. How have you guys seen FIAD being instrumental in customers' journey in Fabric? What has the experience been from a Collectiv perspective when they reach out to their customers and get them to attend FIAD workshops?
I think that's a great question. And Collectiv does host those FIAD workshops, but we are expecting to bring in-person trainings in the near future.
And if your organization is looking for a private FIAD type training, Collectiv can also make that happen.
I think those are very important, Jill, because at the end of the day, instead of having 5 people go to one training, having some go to another training, it's a great value proposition to actually have all of them in the same training so they can work through the data set and understand how FIAD or how Fabric is going to be more applicable within their organizations. And I believe like having it virtual as an option is a great idea, just because you can get more people in, you can get them be available to attend these trainings, which is sometimes, if you're not living in Toronto, can be difficult because of the snowstorms.
And we've seen that be a huge success at Collectiv, actually doing dedicated workshops and trainings for our prospects and our clients, and actually in office as well. So we've done anywhere between 1 day to full 4-day training and workshops before.
FIAD's a great starting point for folks in trying to upskill in Fabric. What other resources are available for folks that want to really improve their Fabric practice or just interested in understanding what Fabric brings to the table?
Microsoft Learn, as you're aware, offers a curated learning path and certification exams for roles like Fabric Data Engineer. It's a great place to understand Fabric and go through the use cases so that you can give the certifications and be a pro at it. There's also Fabric Partner Community. Partners like you provided a space to engage with the Fabric partner team and product engineering teams and peers. There's also live learning sessions that are free and available by Microsoft Fabric experts to help users prepare for certification exams. And then, obviously, I would always say FabCon is the best place for you to learn about all the workshops and sessions to upskill your data teams and understand how you can use Fabric within your organizations.
So Palak, we talked about FabCon, all of the great workshop and training sessions there. We talked about FIAD and all of the additional resources that everybody has access to get trained up on Fabric. But really, what advice would you give these organizations that are trying to get started with Fabric or migrate from some of their legacy systems over to a Fabric data lake or warehouse?
You know, the biggest complaint I hear from chief data officers is how siloed the systems have been over time. So to me, it's very important to actually evaluate your current data lakes and warehouses to identify performance data bottlenecks and data silos. That evaluation would then lead you for you to design how you're going to move to Fabric, how you will set up that one lake to configure it as a central repository for all of your enterprise data and optimize data formats for compatibility. I would also say that Fabric is great for you to recreate your ETL pipelines using Fabric's data engineering workload and utilize the native connectors for data sources. It's also important to use the governance and security that's built in within Fabric using Microsoft Purview so that you can enforce access controls, compliance policies, and data classification. So at the end of it, these are some of the steps that you need to make sure that you look at before you move to Fabric.
Yeah, and you mentioned looking at those things. Are those some of the most common mistakes that you're seeing during Fabric implementations?
I would definitely say lack of pre-planning is one of the biggest ones. Fabric being the biggest analytics platform, not everything can move right away. So it's important to have a phased planning of how your data would be moving to Fabric. Failing to plan a data lake structure or governance can increase your data silos and inefficiencies, which is basically what we're trying to not have with Fabric. Make sure that there is proper data cataloging. Not cataloging your data properly can make it very difficult for the users to find data and then use it effectively. So those, I would say, are some of the most common mistakes. Like I mentioned, Fabric is a software as a service platform. We want to be able to make it easier for everyone in your organization to use Fabric. So get them trained, make sure they understand what value it brings to the table so that you can successfully pre-plan your migration to Fabric.
Wow, this has been a huge episode and a real honor having you join us today, Palak.
Thank you for having me, Jill and Dennis. It's been a wonderful experience talking to you guys. I think Collectiv is doing great work when it comes to Fabric implementation, and I can't wait to see what else we can do together.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to keep these conversations going at FabCon 2025. If you're interested, we are at booth 421. Stop by and say hello.
So if you're ready to level up with fabric, check out some additional information in the description about Collectiv's 2-day fabric training and workshop, as well as more about our Fabric Data Lake implementation offering. And as always, thanks for joining us on this episode of Fabric Threads. And again, a special thanks to Palak from Microsoft. And we'd love to get your feedback and comments. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.